Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall is 8 minutes away from 8 o'clock on Friday night, on a wet and windy Friday night. There was at least 6 inches of water coming in the drive and all around the front of the house today. The main road was blocked. There was a big flood, and all the trucks and cars were driving in water across the wall. Didn't see it as bad around the house since January 2016, when there was massive floods. A lot of trees down as well. It lasted about an hour and a half, the real bad winds, but it's sort of back to normal, and the water is practically gone. You'd never think it was the same day at all. Talked with you last win on Tuesday night. Out of the traps early Wednesday morning, headed for Shannon Airport. Got there 10 o'clock, picked up the gang at about 10 to 11, 5 to 11, 9 adults, 2 1-year-old twins, well, 10 months, and 2 great kids. Never heard a whimper out of them in the length of time I was in their company. We headed there from there to Bunratty Castle, there for an hour and a half of that, and then up to Dirty Nelly's for the lunch. There was a man, I was carrying one of those containers that you have to pay €2 for, a coffee cup, in Bunratty Castle, the cafe. I got it for nothing as a driver, but I had to pay €2 for the cup to bring it with me. But I seen this fella looking at me going in, and I was saying, just this mustn't be allowed going in. But it's what he came over a couple of minutes later, and he says, any tips? So he watches the channel. Michael, the barman in Bunratty, in Dirty Nelly's, with toasted ham and cheese and onion and chips, most of them, and clam chowder. And we headed for Cundanagalliva, up to see the Herd and Chokers, and back in the hotel about 4, and booked in with Kitty Carr, Park House Hotel at 6. And that to meet a cousin at 8, but we were left about 5 to 8 when the cousin came at 8. Back to the hotel, 1 pint up the town, piss and rain, into the Pucon, and with one in the one on the corner, then the Green, I'd call it, and then to the King's Head, with 2 there, and that was it. So I said good luck to them the next morning. The other man took over, and it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock on a leaving. Great gang. I'd love to have stayed the trip with them. They were from Philadelphia, Eagles fans, no doubt. So hope they have a safe trip. There are 3 nights in Galway, 3 in Killarney, and 1 in Limerick. The Smiths, relations, Sligo and Roscommon, where they lived. We had, what had we at all? Oh, Palmerian, ran like a pig, and Emerald Harmony. I can't remember how it ran. I know it didn't win anyway. I can't remember how it ran. Or did I see that race, Emerald Harmony? I can't remember. Anyway, on to tomorrow, plethora of stuff. We have Saturday racing in the UK, Ireland, and in France. I'm not in Paris this year. Was there the last couple of years in Longchamp for the Prix de l'Arc. I sort of knew, feeling came out in my body last year when we were coming out. I knew that I wouldn't be back this year. I don't know what hit me coming out the gate, but even when I finished that video, I was saying, yeah, I don't think I'll be here next year. A horse with a great chance, I think. I nearly make it the nap, is Beautiful Diamond. We've seen this running lately when we were on Star of Maymas. But if you go back to this last year, it hadn't ran from July until September, and it was in a Group 1, and it was dropped in trip to this particular race, 5 furlongs on soft ground, and to second to Rumstar. And Rumstar is now raced 112. It's actually running the Prix de l'Abbé on Sunday. A run in May. I think they were waiting. It looks like they were waiting for soft, because it won on good to soft back here and has ran well on soft. And it made the pace last year over 5. and it was collared by, as I said, by a future Group 1 horse. This was the last day. We went out in front. We were on our name. Thought I might need the run that day. I said in the night before, and we might be fitter, but it was ready to rock, and this might have been the target. I'm hoping. Uh, Chagran, it'd be closing, but I'm just hoping that we're gone further and out of reach. Um, On to the next one in Ascot is the 225, the Cumberland Lodge. This is where we came across Hookham. Hookham won this, didn't they? That'd be 3 years ago. 21, Jesus, 4 years ago. Hamish won it 2 years, 3 years ago, and Al Qareem won it. There won't be much between them. If it's a test of stamina, I'm hoping that Al Qareem, even though it's £6 wrong, but he has 3 years. Al Kareem Hamish loves it, getting his toe in. I'm not sure how bad it's going to be overnight. If it got the rain we got today, it'll be unraceable. So I'm going with Al Kareem. He might go out in front and not be caught. In the 335, big handicap race, paying 5 places. I'm on what? I'm on a horse. There's a good bit of money. No, yeah, there is. Mirabeau. It looks like to me that this might have been tipped up by a journalist or a tipping channel or something. It opened 20s, but I'm going back on this. It has stamina, right? So, well, stamina, I mean, it'll stay further than the 7 furlongs. I was running there over 10 furlongs, 10 and a half. But this day was his first run this year behind Native Warrior, and 'twas getting £4. I think it's getting 8 tomorrow. Will we have a peep at it? Native Warrior was Native Warrior was race fit. This is Mirabeau, the grey on the left. This is Native Warrior coming through here. It's a spin saw. Um, it's a stair, it's a plodder like. So hopefully the couple of runs it has had, it'll bring it forward. That was my idea. But it was a bigger price earlier. In Newbury, keep an eye on it for a second. The grey horse on the rail. Just hasn't the speed go through the gap here. He just hadn't the toe to go through here and he gets crowded. That was it. Ball burst, game over. So just hands and heels up to the line. If it had just been a little fitter and a little quicker, it'd be upsides the second, I would have thought. What happened there? There we go, it's back. Anyway, um, in each way play Mirabeau, get a bit closer or above Native Warrior. That's 92 Fav. On to the Group 1, Sun Chariot. I'm going to side with Cinderella's Dream in the hope that Ground stays decent. This likes good ground, as it proved when. What are we doing here? Try it again. Play it again, Sam. There you go. Practice makes perfect. Second in Delmare, firm ground, concrete. Ran in Maidan second to Choice. Well, we were on Choice with that day, actually. There isn't much between two of them at the top. Charlie Appleby in Fallen Angel won the Matron in Ireland. There are two Group 1 winners. Just hoping that the boys in blue. Lady of Spain is improving as well. We'll go with that one. That's my selection in a Group 1. On to the Curragh. Soft to heavy in places. Bishopton up a few pounds for winning the last day. I'm taking a punt on Pinar Del Rio. If it throughout its last run, to be a lot shorter in the money of the prizes. Ran well there on the car over 7 furlongs, second of 20. And what happened the last day? If it was the soft ground, I don't know why, because it won on soft to heavy and won on soft in the Curragh before. Maybe it just needed the run, hadn't ran from June. Hopeful that it'll be competitive. Where are we next? Oh yeah, there's one more on the Curragh. We'll leave the Curragh. Warazam won for us the last year. I think it's up £8, but a horse that went well on the ground in Galway is for the Agacan colours, Rizal. 5-1 shot. Sort of, you'd think that it'd be sort of a bet to nothing to be placed at 5-1. Lightly raced, handbrake on for the first 3 runs, got a mark at 68. Best run there was with cut on the ground in Galway. 70. Up to £2 that it went down before. Marcher doing all right. He does well in the Curragh. Warazam mightn't like it that soft. Rizal, Luke de Vega, they like to get all of their toes in, not one toe. Brings us to, oh yeah, there's one, before I go to Longchamp, Jockey Club Invitational tomorrow night, 1.3 miles. I thought that should be 1.5 miles, but obviously not. It's at the Big A, Belmont. Like the look of Ashbury Park for Chad Brown and Manuel Franco. The last time it ran was at a mile, wasn't it? It won its maiden over 8.5 in Saratoga. This was in the Saranic. It was at the back of the turn for home. It's him out here. I like that finishing kick that he showed there. The extra 3 furlongs or 2.5 furlongs should be to his advantage. He's bred for top of the ground there by out of his Street Cry. Street Cry Love top of the ground. That was an American horse by Frankel. that'll be that now. We go on to Paris. The first race is early, 12:23. Um, no, what happened? Where was it? It was over here, wasn't it? 12:23. Noel or I don't know what Noel chance. I thought. Tennessee Stud is the fav. It's only 7, so it's a win bet. I like the look of Surabad. It looks like as if just sort of trained for this. The trainer and the French, they love to target this weekend. This was at a mile and a half. Extra 2 furlongs, it will be to advantage, I would hope. I'm on the outside here. He wasn't too busy on him. He wasn't too busy on him there, Barcelona. I'm hopeful that that was just a practice run. Tennessee Stud is a stayed well the last time, but I just went for that it may be better. I don't know. 12:58 is the Cadron. This was won the last few years by the Irish horse. What do you call it? Jesus, mind is blank. Coltrane was third in it last year. I'm going for Alsakib. Coltrane, just as the years might be catching up. Um, this looks like it could be a plot job. Kyprios, could not think of it. Kyprios. Bet Al Qareem last year, decent yardstick. Now it was fourth in the same race this year. Um, but it ran well enough the last day behind Alonso. Um, looking for a new kid on the block. It's rated 109. Coltrane is 110, but it's 8. Queenstown, that ran well there only the weekend. 108. Caballo Dermare, we were on that 2 runs ago when it was 8th, and then what did it do? Went out to Germany and won. Sunway looks like it's a mile and a half horse, not didn't stay at 2 mile. It'll be the most confident of selections, but it is the selection. In the 325, a couple of races, then I didn't. The criterion is 2-year-old, handicap, and an Arab race. That's the Duchy on the left hand side. What's the noting on it? I went with same colour, same gig again. Ridari. Different trainer, not going that great, but it was third this run here. I threw out the other one then because it was a Group 1, but this is behind Curragh, who's playing, and Alcantar, so they're in the field again. There it is. It's far back. Got the run of the race, head for home straight, but this was closing fast, catching up big time. Just hoping that the big day is what they were aiming for. The big day being tomorrow. And then the 4 o'clock, which is the Prix de Rizal open affair as well. We have a horse that won 2 runs back from us, Santorini Star. And I won the last time then. I think it was the day that I didn't do a video. Won again. It would have a good chance, but go with the 4-year-old Survie by Churchill. This is back down in class. Look at earlier this year, Group 2 behind Aventure, was one of the favourites. It drifted a bit because of the draw for the Prix de l'Arc. Third to Whirl in June. Second behind Cosana, and this other run then was in a Group 1. They were in Group 1s. 3 Group 1s there. Only 3 lengths behind Aventure in September. Like, it could have went for the big one against the boys, but it's staying against its own sex. Expecting a big run. It's an each way play. Let me check the prices. 6 to 1, 7 to 1 in places there. Actually, the numbers bookie is playing 4. One last one, and the 4:35 Ridari. Bay City Rollers, remember them? Bye Bye Baby. It's McKeown, wasn't it? I just thought of it. Johnny G has one there. Got a good turn of foot the last day. Lightly raced. Hadn't run since the Derby. I don't think it stayed. But if you look at here, there's one first time out in Southall, which was pegged in a Group 3 at the start, behind Pride of Aris in the Dante, and then the Derby, given a good break, and won in Deauville. Johnny G doesn't send them on journeys without them being fancied. Well, we check the ratings. I can't remember them off my head. 109, 3-year-old. First look would be 116. Barcelona. Anyway, that's about it. Just a long time talking. So that's the racing for tomorrow. It's time now to do a bit of study for Sunday for France, Prix de l'Arc and the Abbey and such things. Best of luck tomorrow. Bash the bookies over and out.